Good morning. It's Wednesday, May the 7th. Here's what we're working on so far. Catholic cardinals from around the world gather to elect a new pope.
In a face-to-face meeting with President Donald Trump, Prime Minister Mark Carney tells him that Canada is not for sale, ever.
And Edmonton Oilers open the second round of playoffs with a win over the Golden Knights. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Morning Live. I'm Emily Taylor. We have Adam Atkinson joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have our Simone Gavras sort of hiding in the corner there. And of course, our Brian Wood.
You can't see Simone just yet, but you'll see her shortly.
She's coming. She's coming.
Brian, not a bad start to the day.
No.
Actually, it's a lot better than yesterday. At least we can see this morning. I mean, we'd had the fog yesterday. Today, we got the sunshine to start the day. However, there is a however in there. The clouds are going to start to roll in, and we could get a shower later on this afternoon. It's about a 40% chance of a shower late this afternoon, but a milder high today. Now, yesterday we got to 19, so it was a nice and mild day. Today we should hit 21 degrees. However, we'll get a humidex of 25, so a little more southerly flow pulling in a little more warmth and humidity, but there's that chance of a shower later on this afternoon, and then beautiful conditions from tomorrow right straight through the weekend, and we'll talk about it in detail. By the way, we're sitting at 10 degrees right now, and the sun is almost up. 4 minutes to sunrise this morning. All right, now let's have a quick check on traffic. 403 Waterdown Road, that's doing okay. I'm just glancing over to make sure that camera is still there, and it is, so let's go to it. Here's where we do have a collision. It's on the 403, so it's Toronto-bound lanes coming towards us. Actually, the cameras at Eastgate Parkway were looking back toward Hurontario, so it's between Hurontario and Eastgate Parkway. We have a collision. It's the HOV lane and the left shoulder, and the right shoulder is also blocked there with one of the vehicles. They have that on a tow. Hopefully, it'll get cleared pretty quickly. That's the only problem we have. Everything else is just starting to fill in. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up right now. The news.
Thanks, Brian. Catholic cardinals have begun the secretive process to elect a new pope in what is the largest and possibly the most unpredictable conclave to ever take place. Simone Gavras joins us live in studio with the latest. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Emily. And the word conclave itself is Latin for with key, and that perfectly describes the process that cardinals are going to be going through. Now, 133 cardinals from 70 countries are going to be sequestered from the outside world inside the Sistine Chapel later this afternoon until a new pope has been chosen. Now, earlier this morning around 10 a.m. local time, the cardinals entered St. Peter's Basilica to celebrate a final mass before the conclave. Cardinals have been meeting leading up to this day to discuss where the church is at right now, the needs of the church, and what qualities the next pope needs to have in order to address the current challenges. Voters are being urged to elect someone who seeks unity and avoids personal interest. Electors will cast their ballots, and the voting will continue until one candidate gets 2/3 majority or 89 votes. Although this tradition goes back 2,000 years, history professor Megan Armstrong, who specializes in early modern Catholicism, says that this is always a momentous occasion.
So when we think about the voice of the Pope, when we think of the Catholics are all around the world, they are all listening to what he has to say, and they're taking direction from it. So I think we have to understand that it's a political voice, that the Pope has a moral authority on the world stage, which goes beyond his simple role as the leader of the church.
Now, the Cardinals don't have to take a first vote today, but they usually do. All eyes are going to be on the chimney on the Sistine Chapel roof and to see what color comes out of it. Black smoke means no decision has been made, but the white smoke means a new pope has been chosen. Adam, back to you.
Thank you very much, Simone. U.S. President Donald Trump's first meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House was far less confrontational than his meeting with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The meeting follows Trump's aggressive tariff blitz in recent months, which has undermined America's long-standing relationship with Canada. Trump has also angered Canada by saying he thinks the country should become America's 51st state. Trump doubled down on that position, and Carney pushed back, saying Canada is not for sale, ever.
If I may, As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
Trump also addressed the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement he inked during his first term. Trump said he's not exactly looking to extend the free trade agreement, which is set to expire next year. Trump added he'd consider renegotiating it, but isn't sure if it's even necessary. He later told reporters USMCA is a good deal for everybody. Carney said some parts of the deal need to change, adding that Trump's use of tariffs has taken advantage of existing aspects of the agreement.
Niagara police are investigating a shooting that happened over the weekend. Police were called to the area of Grassy Road and Concession Road 7 in the town of West Lincoln shortly after 10 p.m. Saturday night. Officers searched the area and were able to confirm that shots had been fired, but they didn't find any suspects or victims. It's a mostly rural area, but police are asking residents to check any security cameras between the hours of 10 and 11 p.m.
We have an update to a story we brought you yesterday. Brantford police have charged a 40-year-old man with second-degree murder following a fatal fire Monday morning. The fire claimed the life of a 49-year-old woman who lived in the home. She was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. Now, police say the man charged was one of the 3 other adults inside the home when the fire broke out and was taken to hospital for treatment. Fire crews and police got the call to the home on Buchanan Crescent shortly before 8 a.m.
Halton police are asking for the public's help finding a missing Oakville man. Police say 22-year-old Vince Liska was last seen in the area of West Oak Trails Boulevard and Stratus Drive in Oakville around 8:30 p.m. Monday. Vince is described as 5'7" with a medium build. He was last seen wearing gray pants and a blue Loyola Hawks hoodie. Police and Vince's family are concerned for his well-being and are asking anyone who may have spotted him to reach out. The search continues for 2 children who have been missing since Friday morning in rural Nova Scotia. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack disappeared from their Lansdowne Station home early Friday, and the RCMP believes they must have wandered off into the woods. RCMP says there's been considerable community support, with as many as 100 volunteers showing up each day. Mounties say the search has also used heat-seeking technology, which can spot the heat signatures of humans. Don't be alarmed if you hear the Alert Ready system today. It's set to go off at 12:55 this afternoon. The federal government will be testing the nation's capacity to issue emergency alerts around Ontario. Most provinces and territories will receive a test alert on their cell phones, as well as through TV and radio broadcasts. The test is meant to ensure members of the public can receive important alerts in an emergency. Staying competitive in the American League East means staying on the cutting edge of technology. That's why the Baltimore Orioles have partnered with researchers at the University of Waterloo to develop artificial intelligence technology that will help the Major League Baseball team track the biomechanics of pitchers at every level of the organization. The so-called PitcherNet takes the main feed cameras fans are used to seeing here, either of behind the pitcher or behind the batter, and combines it with video footage shot on a smartphone by a scout or team official. Using AI, PitcherNet then extrapolates the pitcher's entire throwing motion, recreating the level of detail that the 12-camera Hawkeye system is capable of producing.
All right, it's time for sports, and we're going to start out west, where the Oilers stayed hot in Sin City.
To drag one through his skates. Klingberg snaps ahead. The drop by Nugent Hopkins. It's to Hyman. Shoots. Score! Zach Hyman rips it home. Edmonton has the lead.
Zach Hyman broke a 2-all tie by scoring with 3:02 left to lead Edmonton to a come-from-behind 4-2 win in Game 1 of their series against the Golden Knights. The Oilers, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit, set an NHL record with their 5th consecutive playoff comeback victory. Mark Stone scored twice for Vegas, which had just 1 shot in the second period and 6 more in the third. It was the first time the Golden Knights have lost a playoff game in regulation after leading by at least 2 goals. Game 2 is Thursday night in Vegas. Jacob Slavin was the hero for Carolina last night, scoring in overtime to give the Hurricanes a 2-1 win over the Capitals in Game 1 of their second-round playoff series. Logan Stankoven evened the score midway through the third period, and Freddie Anderson had to make just 13 saves in his return from an apparent head injury. The Canes are the only team this postseason to remain perfect on the penalty kill, keeping Washington's power play quiet to improve to 17 for 17. Game 2 is tomorrow night in D.C. As the Leafs prepare to face the Panthers in Game 2 of their series tonight, we still don't know the status of goalie Anthony Stolarz. A day after he took a wrist shot off the mask and an elbow from Florida's Sam Bennett in Game 1, Stolarz was seen smiling at Toronto's practice facility yesterday. Stolarz vomited on the bench and left Scotiabank Arena on a stretcher to be evaluated in a hospital on Monday night. Head coach Craig Berube didn't rule out his starting goalie for Game 2, only to say that he's doing well. A win tonight would give Toronto a 2-0 series lead heading to Florida. The Toronto Blue Jays are a tough team to figure out this season. They started off hot, then struggled big time, then kind of bounced back with a stretch of wins, and then stunk again. Which Jays team would show up in Anaheim last night?
With a chance to take the first game of this series. And there's a drive to right. Yohan Moncada and some insurance. A 3-run homer, his first as an Angel.
The bad one. The Blue Jays went to the bottom of the 8th inning with a 3-2 lead, only to see it evaporate in an instant. Reliever Jimmy Garcia and Jeff Hoffman each coughed up 3 runs as the Angels rallied past Toronto 8-3, handing the Jays their 3rd loss in a row. George Springer hit a 2-run homer in the first inning, while Anthony Santander hit a solo blast in the top of the 8th inning to break a 2-2 tie. But the Jays bullpen crumbled in crunch time. Game 2 of the 3-game series is on tap tonight in L.A.
Okay, here we are, 6:11 on this Wednesday morning, 7th of May. The sun is now up, and we are going to see some. We're seeing some right now. Well, we'll talk about that coming up. Looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road, still doing fine. Nothing to see right there. Let's go to our MTO traffic camera, the 403 and Eastgate Parkway. Yep, it is gone. So that collision that we had between here, Ontario, and Eastgate Parkway is now clear. So good news there. Here's the QEW 406 in St. Catharines, flipping ahead to Centennial Parkway, still nothing to see. 403 Junction, so that is the 403 coming out of Hamilton towards us, nothing to see. Same with the Ford plant all the way through the 427 Gardner QEW, doing fine. Temperature this morning, we are on the mild side to start the morning here. We're sitting in double digits at 10 degrees. The winds are light from the west-southwest. Humidity is right up there, but we do have the sun. It is up there as well, and we are going to see it for the morning hours, and then we're going to get some clouds. But today we're going to see increasing clouds for the day and then chance of a shower later on. It's about a 40% chance, but look at that temperature. 21, feeling like 25 with the humidity today. No problems for air quality today in the low range category for both morning and afternoon. Low pressure, that cold front dropping its way across us later today. That could give us that shower. And then we're going to start to see some clearing for the day tomorrow. We'll get some sunshine for the day. So enjoy the sun this morning because we'll see some showers possible later on this afternoon. But temperatures today, 19 to 21. As I said, 21. We'll have a humidex of 25. So some showers later today that could linger into the evening hours. And then fairly cloudy overnight. Temperatures a little bit cooler, 6 and 7 degrees. And then tomorrow, we're looking at cooler temperatures, but still fairly nice, 13 degrees, not bad. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds to a mainly cloudy sky for the day tomorrow in some areas, but we should see more sunshine for the day tomorrow, which is good, even though it'll be a little cooler. So out the door this morning, it is mostly sunny. It is mild. Temperature right now is 10. And we'll look at the long range coming up. Emily, Adam.
Thanks so much, Brian. All right, coming up after the break, we'll say good morning to Emily Vukovic. They preview what's to come in Chit Chat. And in business news, Canada Post workers could soon be back on the picket lines. Those details all coming up after the break. 6:16 on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's say good morning, Emily Vukovic.
Good morning, Emily Vukovic.
Hi, good morning, guys.
What's coming up in Chit Chat?
Well, Tim Hortons is teaming up with Ryan Reynolds to launch a new breakfast item.
All right.
I don't know how Canadian we could get there, but
yeah.
that screams Canada to me.
Yeah.
Benson Boone who I am now a fan of. I didn't even know he existed, really.
He's got that one song that I like.
Exactly, the one radio song that I now hear, like when you're in Pita Pit, it's always on the radio.
Pita Pit. Random.
I don't know, random.
But like, have you seen?
They don't play it in Pita Pit. That's it.
No, that's it.
No other restaurant, just Pita Pit.
Just Pita Pit.
He was on SNL, and like, I think it's the jumpsuits that got me. Like, he's a fan of wearing jumpsuits, and it's pretty cool. Anyways, he's doing a new tour, and he's got stops in Toronto. All right. Later on this morning, the new GTA 6 trailer is out.
Hottie just showed me that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a story about Hottie, who is our lineup director, editor, I should say, how obsessed he is with this game. The story is amazing.
He said he's going to take a week off of work.
Now you're spoiling it.
No spoilers.
Sorry, I didn't just say that.
Don't worry, we'll come back to it and chit chat, and you'll hear the full story.
Yeah. There's a lot more details you need to hear about that.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Bye, Emily.
Why did you stop me?
All right, let's check some business numbers. After some gains yesterday, our dollar is down 11 basis points, trading overseas at 72.45 cents U.S. Gold is $32.20 an ounce lower. Crude is up 70 cents, trading just under $60 a barrel. In midday European trading, markets are down across the board in London, Frankfurt, and in Paris.
Over in Asia, markets were down in Tokyo, but up in Hong Kong and Shanghai. And in North American markets, Bay Street enjoyed a slight upswing, bumped higher by a decent performance from the energy sector. Over in Wall Street, the Dow lost almost 400 points, and the Nasdaq closed 155 points lower.
Canada Post could be headed for another strike later this month. Existing deals between the Crown Corporation and the union representing 55,000 Canada Post employees expire on May 22nd. A strike or lockout would mark the second time in under 6 months that the Postal Service ground to a halt. Experts say Canada Post's dire financial situation means it may struggle to meet workers halfway on their contract demands.
Canada traded less with the United States in March. Stats Canada is reporting a $506 million merchandise trade deficit that month, an improvement from the $1.4 billion deficit recorded in February. The agency found exports to the United States fell with the implementation of new tariffs, but shipments to other countries climbed. Canada's trade surplus with the U.S. narrowed to $8.4 billion, down more than $2 billion from the previous month. Imports from the U.S. also dropped by 2.9% amid growing public sentiment towards the Trump administration.
The city of Hamilton is expected to extend its vacant unit tax declaration deadline. The extension is expected to be formalized during a ratification meeting today, pushing the deadline to May 30th. The original deadline was April 30th, but the city is saying the extension is a one-time courtesy. There is no penalty this year for anyone filing after April 30th.
Unifor says Hudson's Bay has reversed its decision to stop paying commission to its workers. Canada's oldest company is currently liquidating all of its stores and had announced commission would end April 20th. The union, representing about 595 Ontario store staff, says the company informed its members last week they'd start getting commission again. Unifor Local 40's president said that while workers are satisfied with the reversal, they remain concerned about their future, as Hudson's Bay is closing its 80 stores and 16 more under its Saks banner.
RioCan Real Estate Investment Trust has taken a hit from its joint venture with Hudson's Bay. The company reported a quarterly loss and trimmed its earnings guidance because of the financial fallout from the deal. Hudson's Bay is creditor protection, and RioCan indirectly holds a 22% interest in the 10 properties where HBC is only the tenant, or the only tenant rather. RioCan has seen its rent payments reduced and the future of the properties put in limbo because of the Bay's troubles. All right, that was a quick look at business news. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes, and Brian will be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast that is looking up after a rainy couple of days.
Oh, bad weather Brian's coming. He's coming to the show. Bad weather Brian.
We've given him a lot of trouble.
Good morning, just about 6:24 on this Wednesday morning. Looking at our MTO traffic cameras, QEW 405, again, nothing to see right there. We'll flip to the top of the Skyway Bridge. Different conditions here, but look at the sunshine. Enjoy that. It's starting to get pretty slow going across the Skyway Bridge. Nothing east of Burloak. We'll flip ahead to where we do have a disabled truck. It's just at the end of the ramp lane coming from Lauren Park around to Huron, Ontario in the distance, Mississauga Road, then Credit River, then Hurontario, and we'll dip into the 403 south of the 401. That's really light so far today, so looks good. Temperatures this morning, we are in double digits all the way around. 10 degrees for Hamilton, 10 for Grimsby, 12 Mississauga, 13 for Toronto. And seasonal overnight lows for this time of year, where we figure we should start the day, is about 6 degrees, so we are above seasonal. 17 for the daytime high. We beat that yesterday, and we'll do it again today. Those are our sun times and records for the day today. So for school, should be mainly cloudy by the first bell. The clouds are going to start to roll in. We should be 15 degrees, and then 21 for after school, but there is that chance of a shower. And by the way, 21 today is going to feel like 25 when you factor in the humidity. So 6 degrees overnight tonight, that's seasonal. 13 for tomorrow, a little bit below seasonal. So we get that cold front going through later on today. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds, and then we'll see the clearing. And then look at the sunshine. Friday, Saturday sunny and 22. Oh, that'll beat last Saturday. 19 degrees and sunny for Mother's Day on Sunday, and then 21 and 23 more sun. What was that about bad weather, Brian? Adam?
It looks like beautiful weather, Brian showed up.
You're really coming for no reason, Adam.
It's getting better. All right.
I love beautiful weather, Brian.
Beautiful weather, Brian, is my favorite. All right, we have a new study that suggests T-Rex ancestors came to North America by crossing a land bridge from Asia.
Scientists use math models to determine these dinosaurs likely crossed between modern-day Siberia and Alaska about 70 million years ago. Now, this supports earlier research showing they were more closely related to top predators in Asia than those in North America. Researchers believe more fossils of T-Rex ancestors may still be hidden in Asia. The team also found these animals likely experienced a rapid growth in size during a period of cooler global temperatures.
Oh, so they came to North America, they got even bigger.
Yeah. How scary is that?
I mean, walk along the land bridge and just grew in size.
Just grew. Not their arms, though. Their arms stayed tiny and useless.
I was in Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago and went to the Smithsonian, so that was very fun. I felt like a kid again. It was me and all the 6-year-olds running around, like, touching the dinosaur bones and being very excited.
Nice.
No, not a dinosaur person?
No, I love dinosaurs. I think it's absolutely... Have you ever been out to Drumheller?
No.
That area? Oh, it's so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the big one in the Edmonton Mall.
No.
Just, all right. All right, we're going to have lots more coming up. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break.